will win this war? I'm not referring to the recent media headlines. The war happening in Ukraine. It's the war entire humanity is waging on Mother Nature. And the entire world has become a battlefield. We are already seeing the collateral damage. One word to describe it is climate change. People are calling it as the biggest crisis of our lifetime. And it is. It's very easy to get lost in the story because life is tough, science is dense, and politics get on the way. World leaders meet every year to discuss the climate crisis and how to slow it down. They're also pressurized by millions of people who are environment activists and who love nature. Look at this graph. This shows the carbon dioxide consumption for over hundreds and thousands of years. And the spike you are seeing at the very end, it took off during the Industrial Revolution. We started breaking the CO2 level in 1950 and ever since then we have not stopped it. Scientists say that 95% chances that human activity caused this. We are burning more fossil fuels which releases CO2 to power up our houses, factories, aeroplanes and cars. Population has increased. Actually, it has tripled in last 70 years. So which ultimately leads into higher consumption. We are consuming more and more animal products which release methane, which is another deadlier pollutant. We are using more fertilizers for our agriculture, which contributes to nitrous oxide. So all these gases release into Earth atmosphere. So when sunlight enters Earth, some gets absorbed by the Earth, which makes the planet warmer, and some gets trapped into the greenhouse, this gas, and reflected back onto the Earth, which makes the Earth more warmer. Problem is not just about Earth getting warm, it's about like at the speed at which it is getting warmer. UN says we are actually 1 degree hotter than the year 1800 when the Industrial Revolution happened. UN also says that by end of this century, if the climate warms up by 1.5 degrees and also up to 2 degrees, it's okay. But looking at the current track, we are going to reach 1.5 degrees in next 10 years. So that's the biggest concern. Joining us today, Nilanjana Srivastava. She has 3 decades of experience working with a multinational bank in IT department. She has also raised 2 beautiful daughters. She is a certified climate reality leader from Algor organization. She also holds an honorary position as Director of Operation with Ocean and Lake Cleaning for Youth Environmentalists. Welcome to Wings of Wishes, Nilanjana.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to be here on this show with you.
Okay, and Nila, it's very clear now that we all need to take action. It's better to take action now than just leaving it like that when it comes to climate crisis.
Absolutely.
Though the climate change is the biggest issue we are all facing today, not many people are aware of how it would affect all of us. So what actions you can take in your community so that people are aware of the issues and they can start taking actions in their own way. So just for our viewers, for them to get inspired and start taking action, just tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you start working towards the environmental activity?
Yes. So I've been working towards in this domain for now 15 years. I won't say working towards, but just taking steps on my own. So basically it started with, a school project I was helping my little daughter with. It was on global warming and that it was just a buzzword at that time. So since I was helping her, I had to find out information from the net and all. So my awareness came from there. And once the awareness came, I got interested. I started reading up about it on the net, and then I decided I must do something. I can't just learn, So then I just dived into my office, the CSR department, whatever event they used to organize, I used to be there. So like I was known as the Enthu Cutlet, like from technology, call her, like she will come, whatever the activity. So I kind of got rewarded by the CEO as well, recognized that I take part in CSR a lot. So I was learning while doing, and then I went to Kemri in Rajasthan, one small village. It was barren, and we went and we planted trees and dug wells and all of that. And after 15 years, it's like a lush forest with tigers and all roaming. Now, that inspired me, of course, that one person can do so much. So then I joined some courses to get some structured knowledge. I volunteered with an organization who was working in waste management space. And finally, I became a climate reality leader because it was time to not only take steps in my own life, but to spread the awareness and information around. So now I'm working with community, and it's become a passion for me.
Okay. Good to know. For our viewers, can you tell a little bit about what kind of courses they can take, and whether they are must to join some NGO or environmental agencies, or it is just they teach you, how to go about, your own action towards it?
Yes, yes. So, now during the pandemic, especially, everything became online, right? So, there are so many online courses. I myself went to Coursera. So, there are so many others, Vedantu, etc., even Indian platforms where you can search for environmental courses. There are basic courses because first you need to get the basic knowledge about the science little bit, about why it is so harmful, and, to keep it within 1.5%. And so and so forth. So you need to be armed with knowledge. So first do the basic courses online, and then look for any organization on the net who are working in this domain. There are so many. Like I work with an organization called RUR. They are in waste management space. There are organizations called Scrap. There is Recircle. They are all looking for volunteers. So just sign up. Now you have information at your fingertips. Just sign up for their newsletters, and they will volunteer for their events, and that's how you start your journey, and you make yourself useful. At the same time you learn, as to how to bring about changes in your life.
There are many issues which are contributing to climate change, like deforestation, more plastic getting into ocean, air pollution. So, which are the two issues do you think are more important to be addressed immediately?
Yes, actually there are too many buzzwords floating around. It's easy to get confused. That is why sometimes people get paralyzed and not do anything. So I would say two biggest issues that in my mind need tackling right away is, one is the fossil fuel issue, right? Because we know that is the major cause of global warming, and so those are big issues. So we want governments to solve it for us, move to clean energy, solar, wind. We can't do anything, but no, we can optimize and reduce our energy consumption. Some simple things, switch off when you leave the room for a long time, and invest in energy saving appliances. Keep your AC cooling to about 24 degrees so that it is cooling you as well as not harming the environment, and very many simple things like that. So that's one area. Second area, in our city of Mumbai of 1.2 million people, we generate a humongous amount of waste and we send it to the landfill. We are running out of landfill space. By this estimate, by 2050, if we don't reduce our waste, we will need a city the size of Delhi. Otherwise, we'll be swimming in filth, all of us. Yeah, so basically that is the biggest problem which we need to solve, and that is not something we'll want government to solve for us. It's we who are consuming, it's we who are wasting, so we need to get into conscious consumption and waste less. So how do we do that? How I started. So I calculated my carbon footprint. There are many calculators you can get on the net, and I saw I was consuming too much paper. We had too many newspapers, books. So then what I decided to focus on that area. I said, okay, let me take fewer newspapers to hold, and rest I will read online. Let me buy fewer paperbacks. Rest I will read on Kindle. because habits changing takes time. It shouldn't cause us so much discomfort. So do it like parallel for a while, some of the physical things and some on E. So that way, so same way, if you want to know what to focus on, even when you want to reduce waste, what you must do is first segregate and then check your waste. So for example, how do you segregate? The most simple segregation will be wet, dry and trash. These three. We can talk in more detail about what is wet, what is dry, what is trash. A more advanced segregation would be 7 bins, where you even segregate the trash into hazardous waste, e-waste and many other things, and glass and plastic and paper separately so that they can get recycled. So first you segregate. Once you segregate, you can examine your waste and see where is most of your waste coming from. Okay, in my case it was paper, let's say. In your case it might be something else. It could be food waste. It could be, plastic because you order in a lot of food. So depending on where you feel the major part of your waste is coming from, you can tackle that area first. So, like we used to have the 3 R's before, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle, but now we've expanded it to 5 R's. That will guide us. So first we refuse. Like if you don't need something, don't buy it or don't get it. Then you reuse, then you reduce, and then you repurpose, and then you recycle. So all of these things you have to do. And why I said recycle last is because it's difficult for individuals to recycle stuff. You need an establishment, a factory or something which will recycle your stuff. So for example, now in fact today on 18th March is Global Recycling Day. So right after I finish here, I will be going on a recycling drive to recycle Tetra packs. I collect Tetra packs, I flatten them, I rinse them, and then I collect them and I drop them off at Sarkar Bandar. Okay. And they make like classroom tables, desks, chairs with it. If you as a society can give them a certain number, they'll give you a park bench to keep in your garden. They'll make photo frames, so many beautiful articles. We must support these indigenous industries who are making recycled products. So 2 things to remember: save energy and segregate and reduce waste, because we need to move from a linear economy, which is to make, use, throw, to circular. So make, use, and what you don't use, you put it back into the same cycle, so it is not sent to the landfill.
Okay, good. You brought the extra 2 hours into the discussion. The first step is to reduce the consumption itself, or be conscious about what you are consuming, right?
Exactly.
Whatever suits your lifestyle.
Totally.
That's why we have the TVU platform, which allows you to, be conscious about what you want to consume, and let others know as well, like what is your lifestyle looks like, so you don't get unwanted stuff.
Exactly. So we are totally in sync. TVU in fact is preventing wasteful consumption, because it's giving a platform to people to express their wishes, so that you will not give some unwanted gift to somebody and that will be thrown. So I think this is how we engage youth through apps and through social media, so that they get the idea of how to reduce wasteful consumption. So you're doing a wonderful thing.
Thank you. For viewers who do not know what Sarkar Bandar means, it's like a small departmental chain in Maharashtra, or maybe more in Mumbai.
Yes.
So I think they can look for NGOs which collect these Tetra packs and other stuff
in their own cities.
In their own cities.
Correct.
Maybe we will try to name few in this description box, so the users can approach them and start taking conscious action about how to recycle.
Totally. Yes.
Ocean makes 70% of the Earth's surface, and it plays a very important role in balancing the global climate. there are around 165 million tons of plastic waste in the ocean, and more is getting dumped every day, right? And it's negatively affecting ocean's ability to balance the carbon life cycle. When you look at things, the ocean clean, like beach cleanup, looks like a futile exercise because every day you clean and the next day when you come, you see more waste on the shoreline. So, I heard about the community project which you have undertaken recently, the beach cleanup drive and cleaning the neighborhood, segregation of waste. Do you want to share some of the things which you are doing and which can help our viewers understand what actions they can take in their neighborhood?
Yes, I'd be happy to do that. In fact, I'll in fact talk about two things which are recently that is going on and recently that I've done. One is in my own residential complex where I live in the building society. I've been trying to do this for the last 3 years at least. We are now finally investing in a composter, a large one, and we will be segregating our waste and composting the wet waste and not sending it to the landfill. So that's an achievement, I would think. So we have invested in a composter for the building. So all the flats now will be forced to segregate. The wet waste will go into the composter and we will get fresh compost every 2 weeks, and we will create our own kitchen garden. Plus, I'm going to start a recycling, Tetra Pak recycling drive with the children in the building. Okay, they are more enthusiastic than everybody else. And of course, then we want to move to solar lighting at least for the common areas in the building. So that's what I'm doing in the community where I live. Going a little wider community, I in fact recently arranged a Versova beach cleaning at Rock Beach Lane, on Yari Road, where 35-40 of us got together, and I wanted it to be a bigger event, but taking care of the current conditions, the pandemic, etc. BMC was a bit hesitant to give permission, but they were very supportive, so we kept it small. So we went there, 35-40 of us, and we broke ourselves into teams, and we had a prize for the one who collected the most waste. We collected about 50 kgs within half an hour, and this is despite BMC doing 24/7 cleaning. In fact, we heard from the Karamcharis there, from the lifeguards, how when they request people to not throw garbage in the ocean, like religious waste or things they throw because they are having a picnic there or whatever, it just falls on deaf ears. So I also said that time that don't think that by collecting waste for 30 minutes you think you've not done enough.
Right.
But you have done enough because you're trying to make an impact and you will spread the word, and we need to create a multiplier effect, saying next event, each one get one. So that way we can keep increasing our sphere of influence. So that was a great thing, and we will continue. It will be a sustained one, not a one-off. My next event will be at Powai Lake. The third thing, in fact, I've started doing is, writing to companies. I've recently written to a startup who are distributing milk in plastic bottles. So I've said, look, I'm happy to subscribe if you're taking back the bottles and refilling them. You remember how we used to, buy thumbs up and all in wooden crates, and we used to return the bottles.
The glass bottles.
Exactly. So, India is a country, we were always very thrifty, but somehow along the way, I think we lost the plot. So yeah, we have so many plans. We will be working on so many things, like this beach cleaning will be sustained. We want to do recycle drive, tree plantation, eco bricks building. You know what an eco brick is? I'll show you. This is actually an eco brick. Old plastic bottles, you stuff them with plastic wrappers and fill them tight, and they become like bricks. They become very strong and you can build with them, walls, tree guards and everything. So we want to do these in schools, so that the children know that instead of dumping these bottles in the ocean, you can use them to build. Okay, so we have so many plans to do things in the community, but not enough hands right now. So we want to increase our sphere of it.
Yes, Neela, this problem looks very overwhelming when you look at the data and all. But I think, like you said, if there is a action happening in every society or in the community and every city, I think then we can really make a difference and we can really slow it down. Right? One thing is clear now. We all need to take collective actions and we all need to be united in this. There's so much going on in this world and every day is a challenge for many. But we can't lose hope and we can't stop dreaming about a better future. So, what's your wish for the future?
Oh my God, that's so cool. You're giving me a blank check, right?
Yeah, you gotta.
So, on a philosophical level, I wish we could all get out of this single-use mentality which we've developed. Like we throw everything out. Whereas earlier we used to repair everything. So, we need to get out of this tyranny of convenience. We carry plastic water bottles because it's convenient. We don't even repair our relationships anymore. Anyway, on a more serious note, we need to find a solution. My wish is find a solution to this plastic problem. Because plastic has its good qualities, we need to find another similar material, right, which has all its good qualities, but it also biodegrades. Otherwise, there are so many industries which will, we'll have to shut down. The government needs to fund them with technology and with the support that they need to transition to that new material. So let's say we can replace plastic with something which has its qualities. It had good qualities, it's durable, it's see-through, you can see through it, and it protects from water and all of that. So we need something which is degradable, okay, and basically if we don't do that, there will be too much negative disruption. There are so many jobs, etc. at stake, right? It's no point just telling us don't use plastic. It will all get dumped somewhere. So we need to get that done from the root, from where it's being produced. What about gifting? You don't waste money on gift wrapping paper also. Use newspapers, use TVU to make sure you're, giving the right gift so that it's not thrown away. Travel. See, every aspect of our lives, you can make small changes. So my wish for the future is just do it because it's the right way to live. Global warming notwithstanding. I mean, it's the correct way to live. We have to coexist, right? Nature and us. And we need nature more than nature needs us. So, we better do it. Otherwise, like you said, nature will do it for us. So, my wish for the future is people get the plot and start taking their actions fast. Yeah. And I recently saw an ad which said it so beautifully, where there's a little boy.
Oh, that's a HUL ad.
Exactly. Yeah. He's sitting in the waste bin and he's refusing to come out, and all the neighbors have collected and everything and asking him, what happened here? Why you're not coming out of the bin? And then he tells them that, look, if you will not segregate trash, my future will be trashed. He said it so beautifully, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So calling out to Gen X, Y, Z and beyond, like get with the program, spread the word, make an impact, be the change. So that's my wish for the future.
Beautiful. Thank you, Neela, for joining us today.
Thank you so
your
much.
Time.
Thank you.
Back in 2016, world leaders signed so-called Paris Agreement. And the big pledge is that they will cap the temperature rising by 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees max by end of this century. But the CO2 levels are going up anyway. So what is needed now is a bigger push to change everything, the way the world is running and the way we are living our life. Whether it is carpooling to cut down the fuel, biking to office, opting renewable energy sources, whatever you can. You may ask, where does that leave us? Look, the truth is, everything is going to change one day, anyway, if we don't take action. Even the coffee and tea could run out if farmers cannot grow it. So it is up to us what kind of a future we need. or we would like to pass on to our next generation. So the expert advice, it's down to all of us to start taking action and shake things a little bit. Because if we don't, then Mother Nature is going to do it for us.